Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Dill on the Outdoors. And today we're going to be doing some hunting. And today primarily we're going to be going after spike fork moose and mule deer. So since our last video, October's ended. It's now, I think it's the 3rd of November today. So any buck season is closed. For mule deer, that is. Whitetail bucks are still open, and spike fork moose are still open here in region 331. So we're going to be in the same area today as we were in the last video, out in the Meadow Lake area. And one thing that's changed is that it is snowing, and I think it snowed all night. So past couple days we've been getting a little bit of snow, so might make things a little bit better for us, might make things a little bit worse, but all in all it's not too cold out. I think it's just -1 or 2 degrees. So yeah, we're just gonna keep heading down the road here and get to our spot. But yeah, we're just gonna keep our eye open because there is quite a few swamps on the way through. So we'll probably take a look at some of the swamps as we drive by. Might get out, do some glassing. But yeah, so fingers crossed we see something today. The past few weeks, I had gotten out a couple more times. The day after our last video, my girlfriend and I were supposed to go out deer hunting in Region 5, and it ended up being really miserable that day. So it was pouring rain all morning, and so we didn't really want to have to deal with getting soaking wet, so we didn't end up going out. But last weekend we did, and we didn't see much, so hopefully we can redeem ourselves today and at least find a moose or even a buck. So fingers crossed, and we're just gonna keep on going down the road. I just passed a couple spots there that on the way back today we're gonna probably stop and go and walk through. A couple promising little spots. So so far I haven't seen anything just on the road, but yeah, so just I'm just going slow just in case I do see anything, but nothing so far. But we're about halfway there now. Like I said, the road's super rough, and it's taking a little bit more time than last time to get to where I want to park. So, but it doesn't look like they've gotten as much snow down here as we do in 100 Mile, but still a little bit. That's okay. I don't mind hunting in the snow. It's kind of nice when it's 0 degrees, -1. It's nice and cool out to go for a walk. You don't overheat as much. So last time when we were out here deer hunting, it was pretty warm that day. So one thing that I've been doing as we're just driving through down the road here is that every time I'll come up to a cut block or a swamp or just a meadow, I'll stop for about 2 minutes and I'll just spend that time glassing with my binoculars. It's amazing sometimes how much detail the naked eye will miss. So it's always a good idea to just pull out the binoculars and glass for a couple minutes, just in case that you can't see something that's hidden in the timber, or you know, just along the edge of the timber too, right? So sometimes just without the binoculars you'll miss it, but a lot of times when you're using the binoculars you'll pick up on those small details, and sometimes that could lead to the difference between getting and not getting an animal. But we're just getting back into some private land here, so that stretch goes for about a kilometer or two. So And then just on the other side of the private land is kind of where we're going to be hunting today. So we're just about there, but just a few more little fields and cut blocks to go through before we get to our destination. Alright, so we're parked here similarly close to where we were parked last time we were up here. So right now I just got the quad warming up. It's not too cold out now. Quite a bit more snow up here than there was down on the main roads, so that's okay. But yeah, we're just gonna get everything ready to go, and then we're gonna head out. So it looks like there's been a couple guys driving on this road this morning, but nothing really substantial. So there's lots of spots to go into here, so I'm not too concerned. So we can go and find a spot to be alone if we want to be alone, right? So it's kind of the nice thing of coming out here. So not too many people, but yeah, it's about 20 after 8 right now. A little bit of a late start, I guess, but that, like I said, that road was brutal this morning, so we're just gonna try to make up for lost time now. All right, so we're ready to go. I bundled up a little bit, got my gloves on, got my toque on. I don't think it's gonna be too cold, but just the wind on the drive over to where I want to get to, probably gonna be a little bit cooler, so we're all ready to go for that. So yeah, we're gonna take off down the road now and just keep our eyes open. The sun's starting to come out, which is good, so hopefully we might see something out in the open and trying to warm themselves in the sun, right? So one can hope, so fingers crossed, and yeah, let's do this. So just driving along here, looked on the side of the road, and there is a ton of wolf tracks here all the way back down the road. So a lot of times the wolves will just take the roads and walk along the roads because it's easier for them than having to crash through the bush looking for a meal. So these look to be about probably 2 days old, I'm assuming. Looks like there's a dusting of snow over top of them, so I don't think they were from last night, and if they were, it was really late last night because it was snowing pretty good this morning when I was coming out here. So but yeah, so not the tracks we want to see, but it's the tracks we're getting this morning. All right, so we're parked pretty much where we were last time we came out here. So if you guys remember, there is that swamp just back this way. So we're gonna go real quiet into there, see if anything's kind of going on through there. And yeah, we might just glass for a half hour or so and see if anything pops up. The nice part about in here is that it's not just the lake and the swamp, but there's also the nice big meadow around there where deer might be hanging out. So there definitely is moose throughout this area, but we just gotta get lucky and find one. And now we're not just out here for moose today. Like I had mentioned earlier, we're gonna be looking for a mule deer as well. Right now mule deer are 4-point or better, and whitetail bucks are still open for any buck. So you know, there's three possibilities that we could run into, so let's just hope that one of them works out for us. But yeah, there is a lot more snow up here than down at the main drag, so but that's okay. It's nice and we can see the tracks and see what's kind of going on. Lots of wolf tracks though, and that's a little bit concerning to me. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to find out for ourselves. So I'm pretty sure I just ran into some cougar tracks. Now, they weren't fresh by any means, but especially if there's a cougar in the area, we just gotta make sure that we're keeping an eye on our back. And yeah, cougars, they like to stalk, so it's usually just best to keep an eye on your surroundings and, you know, every few minutes take a stop and look around. And you gotta really make sure you're looking in the trees too, because they will climb up a tree and sit there and stalk their prey. So Just got to be really careful, especially way out in the middle of nowhere. But a cougar doesn't really bother me much because they're pretty private animals. They like to keep to themselves. So, but however, like I said, that doesn't mean we can't take our precautions. So I'm just sitting here at the edge of a swamp, and I'm just gonna wait for a few minutes here and just kind of glass and see if there's any movement. Not a lot of tracks. Like I said, I'm kind of concerned. There is a lot of wolf tracks around here, and it's just a little bit concerning to me. So we'll wait here for a bit, do some glassing, and then we'll head behind me where we found that moose shed last time and do a little bit of walking there. And then I think I'm gonna head back towards the first swamp and hike through there a little bit. And same thing, if there's no tracks and too many wolf tracks, I think I'm gonna go back to the quad and we'll try another meadow. There's lots around, so we've definitely got quite a few areas we can go today. But yeah, so like I said, lots of wolf tracks, a little bit concerning, and not too much other tracks around. I've seen 2 sets of deer tracks and that's about it. So, but the sun is pretty bright right now. It hasn't really warmed up too much, so it's kind of nice for walking, that's for sure. But yeah, so not a lot going on around here. More wolf tracks and the occasional snowshoe hare tracks. So just walking into where we found that moose antler here, and we're gonna do some glassing, and then yeah, if we don't see anything, we might just head back to the quad. So I thought for sure we'd be able to see something already, but another slow day it looks like, so that's all right. But I'm just keeping my eye up on the ridges there where we were walking last time, but not seeing too much activity up there. So I made it to the end of the logging road here, and yeah, I walked right past where I had found that antler again, and sure enough, it was still there. So, but no fresh sign of deer or moose or anything really. So I think I'm gonna head back to the quad now and go and try to find another couple cut blocks to drive through, because we should be seeing stuff right now, especially with the deer as they're getting closer to their rut. They should be traveling now and searching for a mate. So it's hard to say if the wolves are playing that big of a part in it, or if they're just not around this area. But I think I'm gonna take the few hints that I've collected today and go find another spot. So I'm just walking along here and I look down the ground and there is a ton of rose hips right now. And it might be a little late in the season for them, but this here is called a rose hip. And you'll see a lot of times the bears eat them, and usually if you'll find a pile of bear scat, you'll see the seeds in their scat as well. But they're loaded with vitamin C, and you know, being edible and all. And some people make them into tea. You can eat them just how they are, but they're very bitter. So I've had them before. I don't personally like them. In a survival situation, I would definitely try to find as many of these as I could to eat them. But yeah, so they grow everywhere, They're very, very common, but as you can see there, they're full of seeds, and yeah, they're not the best tasting thing in the world, but they would definitely give you some sustenance if you're ever stuck out in the middle of nowhere, that's for sure. It's sure bright out today with that fresh bit of snow on the ground. It's really reflecting up and it's almost blinding. So, oh well, don't happen to have my sunglasses on me, so that's good. Alrighty, so on the way back, didn't see much. No new sign or tracks or anything, so yeah, we're just gonna go for a drive and see if we can find a spot with less wolf sign and more deer or moose sign. So let's go. So I just cut down through a big meadow and came back down to the main Meadow Lake Road, and just doing a little bit of scanning here in this. There's a nice meadow in here just off the hill, but I didn't see anything at all here. But there's a couple trails that go up further here on the opposite side of the road, so I think I'm gonna drive down and get on one of those and give it a try, because I checked out a couple other spots up from where we parked the truck, and there's lots of wolf tracks up there. So I'm gonna try this side of the road for a few hours before we head back to the truck. So I'm gonna go try to find one of those roads and see if there's any trails or anything off of them. And if there's anything that looks promising, we might take a good walk and see what we can find. So I'm just back at the truck now, and I've loaded up the quad, and I did end up going on the other side of the road there for a little bit, but it's not a lot of deer sign at all. There's a little bit there. I had stopped and had a snack, and I was kind of looking around. There was quite a bit of deer tracks, but there was also a ton of wolf as well. And then I had gone down one of the other side roads, and it was just covered in wolf tracks. So I'm gonna leave this area and maybe come back to it another day, but I'm gonna head more towards the highway now and get on a couple of the old logging roads out that way. So we might see something in some of the old clear cuts, and so I might do a little bit of walking through there, and we're gonna do some glassing as well, because obviously this area here isn't really doing any good for us. So I think we should switch things up a little bit and try to find something else. More so, I don't want to be wasting time, especially now that it's getting darker sooner, and really there's only about 3 to 4 more hours of good solid daylight. So I'd like to make those last few hours count today. So yeah, we're gonna head back towards the highway now and take a look at some of those cut blocks. Alrighty, so we made it to one of these cut blocks here, and as you can see, like, this is just perfect for deer hunting. The trees are only about waist to chest high, and there's lots of them, so the deer are going to be laying in these trees here sometimes, and it's nice because you can walk 100 yards and then glass, and then walk another 100 yards and then glass, and sometimes you'll find them in here because they feel safe and they're able to see their surroundings when they get up. So we're just gonna walk through here real quiet and see if we can find anything. So I just came through the clear cut just over there, and there's this little meadow in here, so I stopped to take a peek in here. But from what I'm guessing, I think there's another clear cut just over here, so we're gonna go and check that one out as well, and then do a loop and head back to the truck. I'm not sure how many more clear cuts are on this road. It's been a while since I've been down this road, so I'm hoping that there's one right over here, but I'm not 100% sure, so we're gonna go check that out and see if there's anything in there. And yeah. So I was just walking through the clear cut here and saw something interesting. So this is a large tree, and it's one of the only coniferous trees to lose its needles every year. And realistically, like, these aren't considered needles. They call them leaves, but they're really soft, and they're kind of a pretty tree. But all of these needles will fall off this winter, and then it'll regrow them in the spring, just like birch, or what's the tree called? Poplar. But there's tons of them around here, and you don't really see them very often, so kind of interesting to see. So I walked pretty much the whole clear cut, and it took me about an hour and a half. And in that time, didn't really see anything or hear anything. Did see some deer sign though, and quite a bit of moose sign too. So that was good. Didn't see too much sign of wolves in there. Just one track. So other than that, not the end of the world. There's still lots of time left to hunting season, so maybe within the next couple weeks we'll be able to find something. But yeah, so I'm just gonna head back to the truck and just road hunt on the way home. And you know, maybe if we're lucky, we'll find something. But like I said, no big deal. No need to get discouraged, since there's still over a month left to hunting season, so no big deal. Just on the way back to the truck here, I looked over and here's some snowshoe hare tracks. So this here is his back legs, and this is his front. And they kind of do, they'll put their front paws and then kind of push and kind of leap in front. I have seen a couple before up close. I've known people who have harvested them in the fall, and their back feet are quite big. And the cool thing about snowshoe hares is that every about mid-October to mid-November they start to change colors, so they'll turn from brown to white to camouflage themselves in the wintertime. And usually in that transition period is almost the best time to hunt for them, because they're really easy to spot. They're not the easiest thing to hunt, because a lot of times when they hear you, they take off, and once they start running, they don't stop, and usually you'll never see them again. So there's advantages to their hair turning color for us hunting them anyways, but at the same time they're still a very hard animal to harvest, so kind of cool. So I just stopped, and something had caught my eye, so I looked, got all excited. I thought it was a moose, and it was a horse. So a little bit of a bummer. I was really excited there for a second. My heart rate went up, but that's okay. But right now, as I'm driving towards the Big Bar Forest Service Road, I'm just looking at the mountains right now, and it's just, they're beautiful. Just snow-capped right now, and looks cold up there, that's for sure, but that'd be okay with me right now. I love to get up into the mountains right now and do some hiking, but that'll have to wait for next summer, because I've got a couple trips planned, and I'm just trying to figure out a couple dates, see what works for the person who's coming with me. So yeah, pretty exciting, but slowly getting a few more things for backpacking. had quite a bit of the gear for when my girlfriend and I went, but not exactly the gear that I kind of want. So slowly but surely I've been getting a few things here and there, and hopefully by next summer I'll have everything that I kind of need. And yeah, so really exciting stuff to come. But with the cold weather though, I'm really excited for ice fishing. So it's probably still about a month out, but I'm slowly starting to get my ice fishing stuff together as well and get all that kind of ready to go. Really excited to do some kokanee fishing, and of course do some burbot fishing this year. Now last year we did quite a bit of burbot fishing. Wasn't so lucky, but hopefully this year things will change. If you haven't had burbot before, it's a freshwater cod, and homemade fish and chips with it is the best thing. So hopefully this year we can get some more, but I guess time will tell. But yeah, we're just turning right now onto the Big Bar Forest Service Road, and a lot of it's crown land all the way back, so hopefully see something. The sun's already starting to set too. We did just have our time change, so we're an hour behind now. So yeah, so we're pretty much back at the main road now, and didn't see anything on the way out, but that's okay. So I think next weekend my girlfriend and I, we were planning on coming out, and we're gonna try a different spot next weekend. I think personally, with the amount of the feral horses and the wolves, it's not leaving a lot of room for the deer and the moose to be around. And especially with the wolves, they're gonna be pushing out the deer are gonna be kind of trying to get away from them. So I think we're gonna give this spot a rest and maybe come back to it maybe next year. But yeah, my girlfriend and I are gonna try a different spot. That being said, it is also in Region 3, so in that portion the Spike Fork bull moose are still open. So we're gonna go, we're trying to go into a spot where there's multiple things open that we could harvest. So yeah, we're gonna give that a try next weekend. But all in all, it was still a good day. I never have any regrets coming out and getting outside, getting some fresh air. You know, we did a couple hikes today and that was nice. And yeah, so, but if you guys enjoyed the video and my other hunting video, please leave a like and comment on what you guys would like to see next, and subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, we will see you guys in the next one.